Hey, everybody, how's it going? Andrew here, and I just want to take a quick moment to say thanks for being such great listeners and all the support you've shown us so far. Mustafa and I have really appreciated it. Now, this time I just wanted to take a quick moment to try something we've never done before, and I figured it'd be a little cool. So it's a little bit of an experiment I was thinking of, and I know it's a little bit of a hard ask, so just hear me out, though. So what I was thinking, if you have a Twitter account and you have a moment, like I don't want you trying to do this if you're driving right now, I want you to either write a tweet at IGM Podcast with the hashtag Indie Game Movement, or just at IGM Podcast, give us a follow, okay? And what that will mean to me is that you, as a listener, are already committed and taking action with your project in any capacity, whether it's marketing or business related or just development. That is going to be a sign to me that you are taking action with your project. So whether it's a quick follow or writing something with the hashtag Indie Game Movement, I want you guys to take action now by showing that. And to me, that is saying you as a listener are making things happen. So it's a little quick experiment. Like I said, please don't stop yourself or distract yourself from driving or any other type of activity in a similar sense. Just be safe about it. So let's try it out, see how it works. I think it'll be pretty interesting nonetheless. And again, thank you for everything. And let's just go to the show. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Indie Game Movement, the podcast that talks about the marketing and business of indie games. I'm Andrew Pappas. I'm going to be one of your hosts today, along with Mustafa Price. And this is episode 136, where we're going to be talking about the importance of business relationships and partnerships. Now, here on the show, we often discuss the balance of business and creativity in the indie game space. And one area that can sometimes be overlooked is the business development side of the industry. Now, building and maintaining relationships is essential, but sometimes it can be a challenge to really know and understand how to do that while also being comfortable with it. That's why in today's episode, our guest shares not only the importance of building and maintaining those relationships, but also methods on how to be impactful and stand out to others, giving you a great advantage. So that's what we're going to be talking about right here today on Indie Game Movement. Hey, everybody, and we're back, and I have Mustafa with me today, as I said before. Mustafa, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing just dandy. How about yourself?
I'm not doing too bad, actually, so thanks for asking. And today, we also have David Logan with us from Akupara Games. Is that right, David?
Yeah, Akupara Games. Thanks
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, everyone.
Yeah, definitely. So, David is the CEO of Akupara Games, and I'm just going to leave it at that because David's probably going to do a much better job of introducing himself and sharing about, what he does there and what they do and everything else. So, David, if you wouldn't mind, just take it away and let us know what goes on and what you do for Akupara Games.
Yeah, so I've been in the game industry for about 12 years now. Most of my early experience was as a game producer and a producer just for digital media in general. And one of my first projects I was creative director on was called Whispering Willows, which was an original title that we built from the ground up. Since then, I've been involved in a lot of game development, but in the most recent years, when I started my company, Akupara Games, we've put an extra emphasis on the publishing side, and so have in recent years shifted focus more towards marketing and distribution, as well as my main role now for the studio is doing business development for the studio.
Nice. And one thing I didn't ask you before too, if you don't mind sharing, outside of work, what kind of things you do for fun or, just to get your mind off of work? Like what kind of leisurely or personal activities that you like getting involved with?
Well, recently I've been doing a lot of grilling.
Nice.
We have a really nice backyard, and especially with everything going on with COVID, it's kind of a little paradise back there. We have lots of high trees and plants, very secluded. And so once a week, my partner and I have been grilling up, different kinds of meats and veggies and fruits. And it's just been a nice way to, end the week with a cocktail and with a nice meal in nature, except recently it's been extra hot and lots of mosquitoes. But besides that, it's been really nice.
That's awesome. I can completely relate because, long story short, I was able to get a Big Green Egg, which is basically a ceramic grill / smoker. And
Nice.
I think my wife is finding me to be a little bit obsessed with a lot of smoking activities in terms of like different meats and things, and I'm trying to smoke cheeses now, and
nice.
I feel
you start experimenting, huh?
to say the least. So, but yeah, I can totally relate with you on there. So awesome. Well, good to hear that you found some awesome activities, especially in light of everything going on, to get your mind off of things and really enjoy, the great outdoors and life and everything else. So good.
Yeah, even if it is just the great outdoors in the backyard.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need to go far. Awesome. All right. Well, to kind of dive in a little bit more, we're going to take you through the Q Box round. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Q Box round, it's basically just a quick round of random questions that we prepared for David. And he's just going to give his short, quick little answer unless he feels he needs to elaborate. Now, David, are you ready for the Q Box round?
Yes, I am.
All right. What is one thing that motivates you every day?
As lame as this is, work. Work motivates me because it motivates me to let's I'm already going in a wrong direction here. We'll cut it where I said work.
That is perfectly fine. What's your favorite movie?
Donnie Darko.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
forever.
I love Donnie Darko.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
All right. Trains, planes, boats, or buses?
Trains, actually. I love how
you picked the correct answer.
They take the longest probably, but they're nice and relaxing.
Nice. What's your favorite meal?
Well, this is sort of a weird one. I've always been a big fan of yams and sweet potatoes, and so my favorite meal is like yams with meatloaf.
Oh, I never would have thought of that. Okay.
Have you ever tried yams with like pineapple chunks in them?
That sounds amazing. No, I haven't.
Yes, it is a very, very strong flavor. It's awesome.
I know.
Normally for Thanksgiving we do yams with just marshmallows and brown sugar and all of that.
I think Mustafa just threw out a pretty awesome maybe like side grilling.
That's the way I make them, and
yeah,
not to toot my own horn here, but I haven't got any complaints yet. So
that sounds really good. I'm going to try that. Yams and pineapple.
Yeah, on the grill. All right. All right, and then last but not least, the new staple on the show is what are you playing right now?
So I find myself with less time these days, and so I've been, mostly when I play games, I play multiplayer games. So right now, been doing Fall Guys, having a blast with that, and then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, playing Remnant. Actually playing the new Remnant DLC with some of my friends.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, cool. Well, again, David, thank you so much for going through that Q Box round with us. And without further ado, we're just going to get into the meat of the discussion. So are you ready to go ahead?
Absolutely.
All right. And again, just as a reminder, we're talking about here with David the importance of business relationships and partnerships. And because, obviously relationships and partnerships are a pretty important thing. And we couldn't think of a better person to ask than David, a bunch of questions and stuff around that topic. So to kick it off, I want to start off with saying, while it may make sense for a publisher to establish various relationships and partnerships, how important would you say that is for indie devs to do the same?
So I think there's kind of two answers here. One is, if you ever are thinking about self-publishing a game yourself, it's good to build up those relationships. And honestly, the more time that you can have to build that relationship, the better, right? The strongest relationships generally come from time, if you can stay in touch with people. But that being said, I also think it's important, even if you are going to have a publisher, to build those relationships, because I think that, even being able to lock in a few deals before you approach a publisher, that's a very strong bargaining chip. No one used that against me, but no. But if you come to a publisher and you go, I've already got financing from Sony, or Epic, or I have this partnership with X, Y, and Z, that makes your pitch even stronger, and that's ammunition that they already have and can come to the table with.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because from what I understand on the publishing side of things too, that can be pretty competitive, for the most part. I mean, not that, most publishers are really up against each other, but like you said, in a scenario like that, when someone's presenting that stuff and because of those, partnerships or whatever have already been established, it especially if it's a title that is a good fit and everything else, it can be pretty competitive and to say the least, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It can help you stand out. I would say, some publishers may see it as, well, that's an opportunity that they won't be able to get anymore, right? Like, let's say a developer comes to you and they just locked in a major deal with Microsoft, and they are going to be taking all of the financing from that. Well, that's one less thing that the publisher can get a cut of.
Right.
But I would say, for the most part, bringing extra opportunities or being open to sharing those opportunities with the publisher, not trying to cut them out of it, but if you need extra ammo to get the publisher, more excited about it, then including them in those opportunities. If you are, really interested in just, hey, I locked down a partnership with a Chinese a Chinese partner that's going to help me, so I want to completely exclude China. I got a publisher for Switch or a partner for Switch, and I want to exclude Switch. You can certainly do that as well and kind of piecemeal what you're presenting, but then that certainly becomes a less attractive offer to the publisher you're talking to, because now there's platforms off the table, now there's territories off the table, now there's money that's off the table.
Nice. Yeah, it makes complete sense, definitely.
Right, and I noticed, as and this is actually a really good segue, because I know you were starting to get into kind of some of the details of what type of opportunities various developers might be pursuing through the partnerships and relationships that they're building. So I wanted to kind of pivot toward how to start building that line of communication and kind of building those relationships. So I guess if you could just kind of on a more general basis, what are some of the responsibilities and approaches that you take on kind of the business development side of things?
Yeah. So for me, I focus on a bunch of different areas. As biz dev, I pitch our games for financing, whether that's to investors, to funds, to various places. And that's generally putting together a deck and a presentation and doing that either in person or online. One of my major responsibilities is updating partners on our upcoming slates of titles. So I have kind of a reoccurring call set up with Nintendo and Sony where we present to them, here's